Nicole Scott from Gorgeous Gray Movement YouTube channel, and I've got my good friend on here, Lori. Hi, Lori.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Yes, Lori and I go way back. We have very similar backgrounds and so similar stories with our children in regards to lots of food allergies. We met way back when in Ottawa, where I went and did a prevention talk on allergies. And she came up to me and was almost like, we're soul sisters. I'm like, where have you been all of my life? I needed you years ago. And you'll hear more about Lori. So yes, of course, her background is nutrition, specializing in allergies. And then you can see behind her, she did a little bit of I'm going to say a shift in her world through this crazy time. And she'll tell you a little bit more about that, but you can see those are meditation pillows that you sit on, and they're beautiful. And so she's now into another business, and I'll get her to maybe share that too. But really, this interview is about her story and her transformation. You can see that gorgeous pixie cut, like hello, like funky, cool, hip. She's got the glasses, she's got the bling. She just did a beautiful Photoshop shoot. And I'm like, you know, you're a model, and that could be on the front cover of a magazine. And if any of my silver sisters are on here, and you know who you are, if you got connections to a magazine and you want somebody that is going to represent this beautiful movement, Lori. So thank you and welcome, Lori.
Thanks so much, Nicole. I love watching you. You're such an inspiration just for us all. And again, in these changing times, it's just been incredible. So just to piggyback on what you said for an intro, my boys literally are my guiding lights, right? They taught me from 15 years ago. That's how long it's been. Multiple food allergies resulted in so many symptoms nobody had the answer to, and it was all their bodies just crying out, you know, something's out of balance. And when we started stepping in that path, boy, did things change. So much so that I just dove headfirst into nutrition. I read everything I could get my hands on, did so many different modalities for therapy, detox, big time. That's a big piece of the puzzle for us. So yeah, 15 years later, we're still gluten-free, dairy-free, low sugar, watching what we do, loving Juice Plus, because like you said, that also bridges the gap. It's big. Again, for the past 17 months, I've been all about boosting our own immunity. And then somewhere in that time, this came out of nowhere. I just started meditating. Then my hips started hurting. So then I'm like, I need to make a cushion. All the stores were closed. And I've always collected fabrics from all over the world, bright, beautiful, bold prints. And yeah, I just started posting them, and then it took off. And then that's what we've built together with my two boys. Is now we teach meditation. We give these out as a simple of just like finding your space, making a sacred space, and going within, right? Finding your inner peace just to get some calm, like maybe before bed, showing it to families, showing it to children. That's what we love to do. So yeah, in a nutshell, it's been quite the ride, and it still continues to evolve.
Amazing. Well, thank you for extending that intro so people really understand a little bit more of your journey. So let's talk about this beautiful silver gray 50 shades that's going on with you. Can you maybe start by, and this is always the number one question, what made you decide to say no more to the dye? What was it? What was your I'm going to say tipping point, because that's a big one for women, that tipping point.
Yes. It's funny. The catalyst was the closure of all the salons last year, right? It was that good 5-month chunk of, and then watching it grow out and then going, why? And then at that time, I joined your group, the Gorgeous Gray Movement, and then watching the stories of the women. And I was like, you know what? I want that. I want that. So I decided as soon as the salons were open, and I used to have like a bob, totally dyed red straight bob, straightening it and blow drying it, and so much work and so much effort just destroying the hair. So as soon as the salons were open, I marched right in and said, this is what I want, and showed them it was like an inch long. We did it. And I'm so stubborn. I told no one. I came home. Can you imagine? All my guys were like, what? But I have to tell you, it's so freeing. It's so freeing, and my hair is so healthy. And it's almost glowing. I get compliments all the time. And it like takes 2 minutes to style. So like, why didn't I do this so long ago?
I love that. I love it. Now, when you said you went to the salon, let's go back to that. So you had your bob, you had been dyeing your hair red. So we could technically say you were a redhead for how many years?
Over 20.
20. And that's a interesting color. It's a color that stands out. It's a color that probably you identified with as your personality and how people saw you. So that's a big one that people have. So when you let go of that identifying as a redhead to a silverhead, what was that like for you emotionally? How did you let that go?
Um, I think I was ready because again, I keep focusing on the same thing. The past 17 months, everything was closed. We were forced to cocoon, right? And then there's that whole analogy of the cocoon, and you just go within. I did so much meditation. Everything was closed. There was nowhere to go, right? Watching, listening, looking at stories of other women, and I think I was just ready. Because from your group, like seeing some of the gorgeous cuts, and then literally, like you can search anything, right? So you go on Google, and I'm like, okay, short pixie cut, gorgeous stuff. Like you specify gray. Whoa. So you just grab the one that you want. And I was ready. I was like, that's what I want. I want that new me to be me because I had cocoon for so long. And then summer, everything opened up. We started teaching and going out in community again. And it was just lovely. So taking that time for introspection was just needed. And like you always say too, it's like a process. It's a process like everything else. And I have to thank you again because I never gave any thought into the ingredients of the dyes that were every month going on my head, always doing the roots and like soaking that in. I'm like, I never gave that any thought. So that made me do a whole audit of all my beauty products, everything that goes on my skin. It's like a step by step, like, what is this? What's in this? Nope, gone. Getting organic and minimizing everything. Like now no makeup is needed. Don't need to do my nails. No, so it's almost like we're all like coming out of our cocoons, and this is the authentic me,
Yeah.
right? This is me with no like bling and no like that's it. No color, hardly any makeup.
I love it. It's so true. You should have seen me today because, as you know, you see me a lot on social media. I don't really wear makeup that much anymore, especially going through this transition. And today I was attempting to put makeup on and eyeliner, and I felt like I was like, when you steal your mom's makeup and you attempt to like put it on and you look like a clown and you got lipstick up here and eyeliner up here, and I can't tell you how many times I attempted because I'm so rusty at it. And I was actually like almost cursing, like, I don't like this. This is frustrating. I went once to the bathroom and took it all off. I took it all off because I'm just like, oh, I just don't like it anymore as much as I used to. So I
Yeah.
totally get what you're saying. So when you went out to the world with this new color and this new you, please tell me, what were the responses of people? How did they respond to this transition for you? What was the overall consensus?
It's funny because it's never what you think. Um, like even neighbors just walking around the block, neighbors were like, holy wow, love it. And our next door neighbor like came up to me and she's like, you know what? We all just love your hair. I wanted to tell you that. So it's never what you think. And it might be part of like how you feel inside. That's, also coming out on your face, going with it. But yeah, when you're ready, right? You just go there and then, yeah, the feedback that you get is just, I guess, reinforces it, right?
Yeah,
Reinforces the decision that you've made just to be you, just to be the version of you that you feel that you're ready to be.
amazing. Now, this is a common question. You do not have to answer it, but women always want to know, how old are you?
50.
Wow, 50. Look at
Yeah.
that. And you know what? Um, it's, age is just a number.
Just a
But
number.
oftentimes, people will say like, how old are you, Nicole? Or when did you start? Or how, because we have women in our group that, start going gray in their, teens. And so it's so diverse. Like it is so diverse. I think I did one interview, the last interview I did with a woman down in Florida. Oh my gosh, like 30 years she just allowed her natural hair to come in. So she started in her 30s, never dyed it before. She was actually, I think, the only person I think I've only interviewed that has never touched her hair. It's just like,
Wow.
this is my virgin hair. And it's just so neat to hear the stories of just, at what age were you ready? Because that's what it is. I think you nailed it, Lori. It's like when you are ready, that inner nudge, that I'm done going to the salon every 3 weeks. I'm done putting the chemicals on. I'm done showing up for society telling me the way that I have to look. Like you just like, it's almost like when I went through the decision to go for my divorce 6 years ago, I was done, like done. Nothing could convince me. And some of you women will relate to that. Like, no love letter, not enough money in the world. Like when a woman decides she is done, she means she is done. Do you get that, Lori?
Completely, 100%. It's just that inner, listening to that inner voice, right? And when you do, and it's so strong, standing in your power, it's emotional, it's powerful, it's a wonderful place to be, right? And then just move forward with the transition that we're going through now. So no, your group inspired me. Finding your tribe inspired me. Having woman circles right now are so important. Like
Yeah.
so miss community. Virtual is like as good as it's going to get in the place of live. And that's really pulled me through these times, is like just sharing stories with the other women and saying, it's not a good day today, and that's okay, right? Just they've got me through.
Amazing. As we wrap up, any tips, tricks, words of advice to the women that are going to watch this and go, Lori, help me, push me off the cushion?
Yay. God, so many things that I've learned in my just past, and it will continue to evolve. So take the time and go within. Really think about what you want. We do so little time for ourselves, right? Just do this, run, go, kids, house, food. Carve out some time for you. It's time. Like now is the time. Think about what you want. Find your tribe. Find the women that inspire you. And like, if you can, look at their stories daily, their pictures. That's what gets you going. And then really just think and like, think about, okay, because I know that every time you're going to go get your hair cut, every woman has that cut in mind, right? Because you either saw it in a picture or saw it on another woman and you're like, that's what I want. Wait until that moment when you find it, because that's your next you, right? I went and I searched it. I found the picture and it totally screamed at me. And I was like, that's the new me. So I'm going to do that. So search and look, build your tribe, take the time to find out what you really want. But it's just so freeing to be your authentic self.
I love that. Thank you for that message. And if you are watching this and inspired, I want you to follow Lori. So how can they find you on social media, Lori?
So 2 businesses that I have now. First one is Allergies and Me for children with food allergies and challenges. And the second one is Awaken Dharma .ca, I believe it is. That's our store that I've built with my sons. But yeah, we just
Amazing.
love sharing stories, meeting new people and sharing the stories, and that connection we still need at this time. So stay strong, find your tribe.
I love it. Follow Lori, get some more inspiration from her journey. If you are inspired by stories, want to hear more stories, you can follow me on the YouTube channel, Gorgeous Gray Movement. And as Lori said, if you're looking for a like-minded tribe, you can also find us on private Facebook group, Women Only. Want to thank you so much, Lori, for your time, giving us your love, your heart. And until next time, have a great day.
Thank you, Nicole.